welcome to the Project Lens, the podcast where MBA minds break down some of the world's most ambitious infrastructure projects through the lens of project management. Today, I am Mukil, your host, joined with my fellow MBA students Preeti, Tanuja, Sai, and Priyanshi. Today, we are heading to the heart of Qatar to explore the magnificent Lusail Stadium, the mega project. It wasn't just built to host the 2022 FIFA World Cup, but also leave the legacy of sustainable urban development. So, we will take you through the project life cycle from concept to completion, where the project management principles that shaped it to it. To kick things off, let's turn to our planning and scope manager who will walk us through how the project was structured and delivered on time to meet the FIFA's demanding requirements.
Thanks, Muki. When we are managing a huge project like Lusail Stadium, especially when entire world watching during the FIFA World Cup, it is really important that what we can need to do in this project. Lusail Stadium was not just about building a place where we are playing a football, but it is a biggest plan for the Qatar. It's called Qatar National Vision 2030, which is aimed at to build a smart and urban cities. Now I elaborate what we are including in this project. Building has an 88,966 seats, which is made FIFA standards, as well as adding cooling system and green technologies. And the another one is making sure the stadium was easy to access for each and everyone and reuse in the future. Most important thing is that the project would be done on time for the FIFA World Cup 2022. The last thing is that the stadium has biggest eight plan venues. It's involve different areas like engineering, design, city planners. They're all working together. Let's break down project phases. There are five phases. First one is initiation, second one is the planning, third one is the execution, the fourth one is the monitoring and controlling, the fifth one is the closure. The planning phase create a work breakdown structure. It's called WBS, which is basically break the whole project into the smaller part. As well as they also made a detailed scheduling using by Gantt chart to see tasks on a timeline. And the another one is the critical path analysis to spot important tasks that can't be delayed. Final inspection and FIFA handover were completed on the time. Lusail hosted the World Cup final, meeting all scope, schedule, and quality requirement. The project succeeded because of a proactive scope management, clear deliverable, and strong baseline disciplines.
Thank you for the detailed breakdown, Preeti. Let's focus to the people behind this project. Our stakeholder and communication manager will explain how the team managed the relationships and communications between the multiple stakeholders.
Thank you, Mukil. I'm Tanuja, and I'll be walking you through stakeholder and communication management of Lusail Stadium project. In any project, especially one as politically and globally sensitive as this, managing stakeholders is not only important, it's mission critical. Lusail Stadium project involved a complex web of stakeholders with unique expectations, power, and influence. The primary stakeholders are the Supreme Committee for Delivery and Legacy, the government entity overseeing all the World Cup projects, FIFA, the global client with strict specifications and fixed deadlines, architects, Foster and partners, and contractors, which are HBK Contracting. These are the key delivery partners. The secondary stakeholders are local communities and future Lusail city residents, media, environmental watchdogs, and international human rights groups, and thousands of migrant workers who came under intense global scrutiny. This brought challenges, especially with the labor rights, ethical practices, and global perception. The project team had to involve in an active communication plan, which included transparent updates via press briefings and official project websites, labor audits, and compliance reporting from organizations like Amnesty International, and internal briefings such as safety briefings, induction programs, and cultural sensitivity training for on-site workers. From a project management perspective, The team followed a stakeholder engagement plan, which included power or interest matrix to prioritize stakeholder communication, feedback loops to allow stakeholder concerns, especially about health, safety, and environmental impact, to be logged and addressed, and also a clear communication plan. One of the most notable outcomes of stakeholder pressure was reform. Qatar revised parts of its labor law during World Cup preparations, influenced in part by the international scrutiny of stadium working conditions. This is a reminder that stakeholder management is not only about satisfying clients, it's being responsive and ethically responsible.
Thanks, Tanuja, for explaining how the team managed the different people involved in this project. Next, we are going to look at something it just important money and risk. Big projects like Lusail Stadium often faces challenges like rising cost and or unexpected problems. To help us understand how the team managed the budget and stayed prepared for the risk, let's hear from our cost and risk manager.
Thank you, Mukil. I'm Priyanshi. I will be discussing the cost and risk management side of the Lusail Stadium mega project. Like a Lusail Stadium, often to operate in a highly constructed environment, tight deadlines, high visibility, and the fixed budget. In this, managing cost and risk become the not just important, but it is the essential to deliver successfully. Let's start about the cost control strategy. Cost and risk are hand on hand, especially in a high infrastructure. Lusail had a initial estimated budget which is $767 million. The project team implemented on value management, which is EVM, to track the cost performance index, which is CPI, budget at completion, which is BSC, and variance at completion, which is VSC. One smart strategy was used by the team is a value engineering, especially during the design phase, the access to whether the cutting part will be delivered and to contain the without corrective or without complementing anything, it will be a go with the good sustainability and performance. Now let's shift to the risk management side. Risk was the officially area and a critical area for the project, and the team maintained the risk register was continuously updating throughout the year and project lifecycle. There are some key risks included. First is labor risk, which is protect the labor, like a security and safety of the labor. Other one is the COVID-19 shutdown, the quantitative time and the struggle of shifts and ordering everything, pre-ordering materials, local sourcing, etc. And the third one is reputational risk, as the project was continuously under the lens of a global media and the watchdog organization. Then last one is the schedule risk, because due to the non-negotiable date of the FIFA World Cup deadlines. The team also conducted a quantitative risk, which is analyze the schedule slippage and overcomes using the simulation tools, allowing the better contingency plan. Importantly, the project had contingency reserve to build into a budget to above the financial impact to know and unknown risk, especially during the execution time. In summary, Lusail Stadium's ability to stay financially and operationally stable in a dynamic environment come down to the three things: accurate forecasting in real-time tracking, protective risk identification, and a disciplined approach to a cost control. At the end, Lusail didn't avoid risk. It accepted, budgeted, and adapted to it. That stayed financially viable.
Next, our innovation and sustainability lead will share how the Lusail Stadium become a benchmark for eco-friendly and tech-enabled design.
Began in 2017, and plans were first drafted up in 2014, when Qatar first secured the bid of the 2022 World Cup.
Thank you, Mikkel. When we think about sustainability in project management, we often focus on environmental checkbox. But at Lusail, sustainability was embedded into the core project strategy aligned with FIFA sustainability guidelines. One of the major achievements was Lusail Stadium earning GSAS 5-star rating for Qatar highest green building certification. Beyond the event itself, the most compelling aspect was Lusail's legacy design. After the World Cup, over 30,000 modular seats were removed to downsize the stadium, and those components were donated to develop countries in need of sports infrastructure. And this structure will be reconverted into community spaces, includes schools, clinics, and the retail outlets. This aligns with the growing trend in project management to plan post-project values and not just project delivery. Countries in need. Now, from an innovation standpoint, Luzar was a flagship example of BIM, that is Building Information Modeling, in mega project. BIM also allowed real-time coordinating access, contractors, architects, and engineers, better estimation of materials and timelines. This reduced rework and the waste, supporting both the project quality management and its environmental goals. Lastly, procurement also played a key role in sustainability.
Thank you to all our team members for those detailed insights on Luzerne Stadium project. We have now covered everything from planning and stakeholder engagement to cost, risk, and sustainability. To wrap up this episode, we will move into our group discussion. This is where we can step back and reflect on some of the key challenges, decisions, and lessons learned throughout the project. During the planning phase, what was the biggest challenge in managing scope creep for the Luzerne Stadium project, and how was it mitigated?
Great question, Muki. Aligning this project scope with the both FIFA Stadium requirement and Qatar National Vision 2030, and it was balancing global requirement with national goals.
Okay, thank you. Could you share your major cost overrun example and how the team addressed it?
Certainly, one notable overcome is on the shortage of material and due to inflation of COVID-19 and the price rising of the steel and other construction material. Well, we respond by a renegotiable duration and some strategy related to existing sourcing, and we updated the budget to focus using rolling west planning.
Nice. Okay. How did the project team keep the public engaged and informed during construction?
We used a mix of digital platforms, press releases, and community liaison officers. So regular site inspections and content on the social media kept public connected and also positive. Transparency and local engagement were the key things for building trust and also reduce resistance.
Oh, that's great. Okay. Can you explain how much the stadium modular design supports sustainability goals?
Yeah, obviously, after the World Cup, Lusail Stadium was designed to be particularly deconstructed. Around 170,000 seats are removed and will be donated to other countries. This reduces waste and maximize the legacy value. It's sustainability in action, not just a theme. Yeah, Preeti, I have a question for you. What is your biggest takeaway as a plant manager?
Okay. The proactive planning and early stakeholder alignment and a non-negotiable, especially in the high tax, as well as high visibility projects like Lucid Stadium.
Yeah, thank you.
So, how are unexpected disruptions like COVID-19 were handled?
Actually, COVID-19 was the major disruptor. Like we have to arrange the construction area and we have to shift some activities outside the construction, and we have to manage the measure the labor work, and we have to maintain the protocol during the COVID. And there are some things we are continuously maintained like the risk register. We updated every week, and other things we have to put it like we have to do dedicated meetings to go with the flow and to maintain the alignment.
Sai, now I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What lesson from the Lusails can be replicated in the other mega events?
Yeah, invest early in design, and sustainability architecture doesn't have to expensive if we planned early. Also, consider as legacy use, many venues sit empty post events. Lusail's adaptability, it means it remains relevant, youthful, well beyond the tournament.
And my question for Tanuja, was there a moment when stakeholder conflict risk delayed progress?
Oh, yeah, especially between local authorities and contractors during early demolition phase. You know, some stakeholders were also concerned about environmental impacts. We resolve this though. So this is done through stakeholder forums, and we also appointed a neutral sustainability officer. He is doing everything. He did everything to mediate concerns and propose compromises.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah. Thank you.
So, guys, what is the biggest lessons learned from this Lausanne Stadium? What you want to share for the future project managers?
For me, I learned how to define the scope clearly and revisit regularly.
For me, design with purpose and beyond the project ends.
I think it is like communicate openly with the stakeholders.
Okay.
And in risk, it's always we expect the unexpected build buffers.
Okay. And I would add, collaboration is the glue that holds it all together.
Yeah,
Definitely. Guys, I have one more question. If you could change one decision during the project, what would it be?
I can say earlier stakeholder mapping. This is for avoiding conflicts.
Okay.
Okay. For me, I want to. I want to more adding contingency planning for during the design phases.
Okay.
I think it will be a faster escalation channel for financial approval.
For me, a clear circular economy plan for the budget.
Okay, nice. As a project manager, I want to highlight the key lessons what I learned from this Lausanne Stadium. First, Lausanne Stadium taught us how managing the multiple stakeholders from FIFA and government bodies to local communities and international media requires a robust communication and engagement plan. Second, the integration of sustainability and legacy planning from the outset ensure the project didn't just meet immediate needs but created a long-term value. Third, even a world-class project faced unexpected risk like the COVID-19 pandemic, but a strong risk management framework allowed it easy to stay on track. For us as project leaders, Lausanne is a case study in how disciplined project management can deliver innovation, compliance, and legacy all within a high pressure and high stakes environment.